The Brave Little Tailor. Chapter 1. The Humble Beginnings. In a small, cheerful village filled with winding cobblestone streets and colorful cottages, there lived a little tailor named Tobias. Tobias was known throughout the village for his kind smile and nimble fingers that could sew the most beautiful garments. Although his workshop was modest, a small room above his cozy house, he filled it with bolts of fabric, spools of thread, and a few well-worn tools. Every day, Tobias worked quietly, making clothes for his neighbors, and always greeted everyone with warmth and cheer. Chapter 2. A Day of Unusual Courage. One bright morning, as Tobias was busy stitching a new jacket, a pesky swarm of flies began to buzz around his workshop. They darted in and out of his sewing basket, landing on his freshly laundered cloth. Tobias, though usually gentle, grew tired of their constant buzzing. Determined to rid his workshop of the tiny intruders, he grabbed a small piece of cloth, and with one swift, unexpected blow, he sent 7 flies tumbling to the floor. Standing over his work, Tobias chuckled and exclaimed, "7 with one blow." Unaware of how extraordinary this simple act would seem to others, Tobias cleaned up and went about his day. But little did he know, his words would soon become the talk of the entire village. Chapter 3. Rumors of Bravery. As the villagers went about their daily routines, they began to whisper about Tobias's remarkable feat. "Did you hear? Tobias killed 7 flies with one blow," they marveled. Soon, the tale of the brave little tailor spread far and wide. Neighbors started to imagine that if Tobias could handle a swarm of flies so fearlessly, perhaps he was capable of great adventures and mighty deeds. Though Tobias was surprised by all the attention, he remained humble. Yet, as he listened to the excited chatter, a spark of curiosity grew within him. Could there be more to life than the familiar walls of his small workshop? The idea of adventure began to call his name. Chapter 4. Setting out on an adventure. One crisp morning, with the sunrise painting the sky in soft hues of pink and gold, Tobias decided it was time to see what the world had to offer. With a small pack filled with a few changes of clothes, some food, and his trusty sewing kit, he bid farewell to his beloved village. As he stepped onto the winding country road, Tobias repeated his own proud words softly to himself. 7 with one blow. Now that phrase symbolized not just a simple act, but his brave spirit. Along the journey, Tobias met friendly travelers, listened to exciting stories, and marveled at the wide, beautiful world beyond his village. His heart swelled with both wonder and determination as he ventured farther from home. Chapter 5. The Encounter with the Giants. One day, deep in a vast forest at the edge of a great mountain, Tobias encountered a band of towering giants. The giants, with their booming voices and enormous footprints, roamed the woods and were known to cause trouble among the smaller folk. When they heard the tale of the brave little tailor, they laughed and said, "Surely, a little man like you cannot be a true hero." Undeterred by their size or their skepticism, Tobias looked up at the giants with calm confidence. The giants, curious to test his mettle, challenged him to prove his bravery. Though Tobias was small, he had learned that sometimes a clever mind is mightier than brute strength. Chapter 6. The Clever Contest. Rather than engage in a fierce battle, Tobias proposed a contest of wit and cleverness. He challenged the giants to a series of puzzles and riddles. The giants boasted about their strength, but they soon found themselves stumped by Tobias's tricky questions and creative puzzles. For example, Tobias asked, "What is something that grows bigger the more you take away from it?" When the giants scratched their enormous heads, Tobias smiled and explained, "A hole." One by one, the giants realized that their brawn could not match the tailor's clever mind. Impressed by his resourcefulness, they cheered for Tobias, and even offered him safe passage through their lands. In that moment, Tobias proved that true bravery comes from using both heart and mind. Chapter 7. The Reward of a True Heart. News of Tobias's clever victories and kind nature soon reached the royal castle. The benevolent King Harold, troubled by a mysterious problem that no one else could solve, invited Tobias to the palace. With a mixture of nervousness and excitement, Tobias traveled to the castle, where he was welcomed by kind faces and sparkling chandeliers. At the castle, King Harold explained that a deep, dark riddle had stumped all his advisors. Using the wit he had honed on his journey, Tobias listened carefully, thought deeply, and provided a brilliant solution that even the wisest courtiers admired. In gratitude, the king rewarded Tobias with riches and honored him with a medal of bravery. And as fate would have it, the kind princess, Princess Eleanor, whose gentle eyes sparkled with curiosity and warmth, recognized the goodness in Tobias's heart. In time, the princess and the brave little tailor became the best of friends, sharing adventures and laughter. Chapter 8. A Hero's Return Home. Although Tobias now lived in the grand castle and enjoyed many marvelous rewards, he never forgot the simple village he once called home. Every year, he would return to his village to visit his old friends and remind them that greatness can be found in the most humble of hearts. The tale of Tobias, the brave little tailor who had killed 7 flies with one blow, became a beloved story that taught everyone about courage, cleverness, and kindness. Back in his little workshop, Tobias still kept his favorite needle and thread close, a reminder that no matter how far his adventures took him, the true treasures in life were the lessons learned along the way and the love of those who believed in him. Moral of the story: courage and cleverness go hand in hand. Tobias's journey reminds us that even if you are small, a brave heart and a clever mind can overcome great challenges. True heroism is not measured by size or strength, but by kindness, wit, and the willingness to follow your dreams.